to talk a very little bit about Hubdoc, and I'm going to repurpose some content from 2017, but be way better and way funnier, because I know I stand between you and pizza and beer. So the first thing to express is gratitude. I start with gratitude to our hosts, big-headed Alex, big-headed Jason, and big-headed John Tory on screen there. We're very lucky. I talk about impact a little later. These guys have had a massive impact on our community of people building software and technology companies in Toronto, and we're just so lucky to have them, so thank you. Also gratitude for Canada, where I'm super proud that the scandal that's bringing down our government is about saving 9,000 jobs in Quebec, and whether it was inappropriate to call somebody and discuss that, as opposed to some other forms of scandal that are bringing down other governments around the world. This is also a love letter to the city of Toronto. Great companies can be built here. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. It's diverse. We've got amazing universities, Waterloo and University of Toronto, thank you, amongst many others. And it's just, it's a way more interesting and fun city than the one I grew up in. So I feel fortunate that we have this community, that we have a mayor who supports us, and we're just lucky to build companies here. So Jason called me an old man. I'm at the greatest hits stage of my career, my third time at TechTO. This was the best greatest hits image I could find on the internet. So this is my greatest hits speech at TechTO. So Hubdoc, just quickly, what do? We automate bookkeeping, use us with Xero, and kind of eliminate all the annoying administrative tasks that go along with bookkeeping. If you're a software company in Toronto, you're likely already using us, so thank you. Discarded TechTO topics, lessons learned, 5-minute Hubdoc ad, scaling our business. That was all boring. So I'm going to talk about me. Me in terms of why I do what I do every day, and the important message, I think, is about taking a little time to think about what you want to be known for and why you do what you do. So one of my interview questions to everyone who comes through my office is, what's the meaning of life for you? Or another way of asking it is, think about the moments where you've been intrinsically happy and what are the drivers of those? And how do you create more of those in your life? So what's my why and how you might find yours? So the first thing, my why, is I wanted to build a unicorn. So that didn't happen. I became accounting famous, or I wanted to. That did happen. I can go to any bookkeeper convention in Australia, the UK, or North America, and I'm famous. I wanted to make Super Elite Flying Tango, which is 10 flights to Australia in the back, the cheapest fare possible. You didn't make it, which was unfortunate. But really, why? So my purpose in life is to inspire these humans, my daughters. They're a little goofy. They asked me to do tonight's talk by rapping Hamilton about Toronto tech startups. Thankfully, that's not going to happen. So how am I going to inspire them? It's pretty easy, have an impact. This is Gord Downey for the millennials who don't know who Gord is. He's a famous Canadian musician. He sang a lot of songs and moved a lot of people. And did a lot more than that. He brought an entire country together. So I can't sing or rap, as the case may be, but I can try to build another one of these. So Shopify is this amazing company that's based in Ottawa, the capital of Canada. There have been lots of great software companies and hardware companies built there, but these guys are the first one to do it at kind of a gigantic scale. And they're building it to last for kind of 20 years, which is kind of cool. So very inspiring. Toby he's started to come out of hiding and do podcasts. He did one with Tim Ferriss recently, which is just amazing. So listen to that. But how does this help? So I've got my picture of the Godfather up there, reference to PayPal Mafia. This slide tells the story of my career. I was super lucky. I joined Expedia in '98 when I was part of Microsoft. We built this big travel company, and I have been trying to replicate my experience there ever since, which is work with the smartest people, grow as fast as I can, move a market, have fun, and win. And if you do that, good things happen. So the companies that were kind of came out of the people who worked at Expedia were Zillow, Glassdoor, and of course the world famous SparkRoom, which Malgosia and I met as part of that journey in the ed tech space. But 4 companies came out of SparkRoom, some that you had heard of, all of them doing really well, and this little company called Hubdoc. And I have new logos wanted there, so all of my hub dogs, I want to see new companies built after you're done in 10 years. So the second part of why I do it is this idea of trying to get better every day. The power of compound interest is the one idea I want to teach to my children as a parent. It can be applied to their finances, which is important, but more important to their human capital. How do they get better every single day if they spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour? Charlie Munger, awesome quote. Read Farnham Street, best blog and podcast out there. They're really into Charlie. He's Warren Buffett's partner. And then helping others get better. So starting with my teammates. This is a picture from a long time ago. I'm going to call out the guy second from the right, Justin Palumbo. He was one of our first Waterloo co-ops, came back for a second term, came back and joined us. Just an awesome software developer. And then the team got a little bigger. And my goal is for everyone on our team to have that same experience Justin did, kind of dramatic personal growth, and to say 5 years from now, that's the best place I ever worked. That's another guy in Sydney. He started as a ski guide in Japan, and then he said, I didn't know much about software, but we liked each other. He runs a team of 15 selling accounting software in Sydney, and has met his Swedish wife, soon to be. I might be, that's presupposing it. So, and the last thing is have fun. So we work too many hours, we spend too much time. So unless you're having fun, you should do something else. And that's it. So we're hiring. 2019 goals, trying to add 50 product and engineering to the team. For all my YouTube viewers out there, come find Hubdoc. That's it. Let's talk questions, and then we can get out of here and have some pizza.
I'll ask the first question. Jamie, does that phone number just go to the general office of Hubdoc, like the front desk?
Funny story. The first number on our website was that number, and I've answered a lot of calls.
And you guys are open 24/7 for all those YouTube viewers if they want to make that phone call?
I really don't have a burner phone, so please don't burn that one.
All right, let's take 2 questions. You didn't have a plant from the Hubdoc team, Jamie?
I'm sure I could get a question, but it might be awkward.
Thank you for the talk. I kind of wanted to know when did you feel ready to kind of start your own company? As you gained experience, like what was kind of like, something that triggered you to be like, oh, I think I'm ready, if there was one, yeah. It
was kind of desperation, to be honest. When Barry Diller, who's Malgosia's boss, bought our company in Seattle, I was married to a Canadian, she was pregnant. George Bush was president at the time, and she said, I'm going home with this baby. So I had to come home to Toronto, and in 2005, the ecosystem wasn't quite as vibrant as it is now. And so I met a bunch of the venture people, a bunch of companies. I didn't find anywhere that I was stoked about working, and so the one thing I didn't have at Expedia, I wasn't kind of, to quote Hamilton, one of the people in the room. And so I wanted to take a crack at being one of the half dozen people running a business and not just a contributor to it. And that's my partner and I started SparkRoom as a result of that.
Thank you for the talk. You touched a lot about on human capital, and that was interesting to me. And I thought, just out of curiosity, what do you look for? What are the intangibles that you look for in terms of your staff?
If you go to the webpage, you'll be able to read those values. You won't be able to do it up there, but I can shout them out to you, which is start with the customer, transparency, be human, always learning, be growing, and giving a shit, which is kind of taking care of things that are broken. So the way I interview people is to explore with 5 simple questions that I kind of ask everyone to try and determine curiosity if they think hard about things and the decisions they've made. And it keeps interviewing simple if you ask the same questions every time as well. So,
What's the best answer you've received from a candidate on the meaning of life?
I mean, I think there's a lot of I try and steer people away from work answers. Like, it doesn't have to be like, you know, making machine learning better. It can be that. If it is, come see me. It's more like, what do you care about? I like people who care about things, and I don't know. I'll pick on one of the Hubdogs in the audience who's on our ML team and is awesome. His story to me was about studying engineer. He had to leave Syria. I think you went to Thailand, Salim, am I remembering? Malaysia to study engineering. And you know, his whole family's business is in Syria. His whole family has to leave that country. I mean, it gives me goosebumps just talking about it. And he described his passion for engineering and science, and then why he came to Canada. And that's probably the interview I'll remember most when I leave Hubdoc.
Thank you.